Welcome to Independence Nation on the Light of Life Network. So, we've reported some incidents of officers saying that while having a suspect in the backseat of the car with their hands cuffed behind their back, that they somehow came up with a gun and shot themselves in the head. In this particular story that I'm about to present to you, they said that this young man shot himself in the chest while his hands were cuffed behind his back. Now, this autopsy is Victor White III, and this incident happened, I believe, back in March. As I said, we reported these types of incidents of police brutality before, and I just wanted you, those out there who have been given the officers the benefit of the doubt, exactly what's been going on, and this story is an example of how police are taking advantage of their power. So the article reads here: autopsy contradicts the police account of Victor White III's shooting in the back of a cop car. So now, to give you a little bit of background, according to initial information, Victor III was stopped under the suspicion that he was involved in a fight at a convenience store near his home. Hammonds, which was the officer that was reporting on the incident, claimed that the unnamed deputy involved searched White, found unidentified narcotics on his person, and arrested him. When they arrived at Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office, they said Victor refused to exit the cruiser and became uncooperative. That's when he allegedly produced a handgun and fired off one round into his back, killing himself. And this actually still remains as a suicide to this day. But once again, if Victor White III, let's go through the whole scenario. He's in the back of the cruiser. His hands are cuffed behind his back. He's already been through the pat down by a police officer, and somehow he produces a gun and shoots himself in the back, they said. Now, however, late last week, some new information came out via the Iberia Parish Coroner's Office that Victor's autopsy was performed the day that he died by local forensic pathologist Christopher Tape. Now, here's what Christopher Tape found. Despite initial statements made by authorities that said Victor III was shot in the back, the report describes no back wounds at all. Instead, his cause of death is described as a gunshot to his chest that perforated his left lung and heart, exited through his left armpit, and lacerated his upper arm. So, by the word of the Iberia Parish Coroner's Office, this officer lied. Victor White III did not shoot himself in the back. He did not somehow, in a Houdini fashion, while his hands are cuffed behind his back, be able to evade police in a pat down, produce a gun while in front of the sheriff's department, and shoot himself in the back. That never happened. That is a fallacy, a lie, and now this officer will be facing charges, hopefully, in this case, and hopefully it will be looked at further by the Department of Justice and the FBI. But it shows here by Christopher Tape of the Iberia Parish Coroner's Office that Victor White III was shot in the chest. And more than likely, although it can be called speculation, he was obviously shot by one of the officers involved. So these are the types of things that have been going on across the country with officers. As we saw in Ferguson, a particular officer pointed his gun in the face of media, not even the protesters, but in the face of the media, and saying, "I'll effing kill you," when they asked him what was his name and badge number, he proclaimed to them to go F yourself. And I have to say that there has been an array of mental illness among police officers. And we have to come to the conclusion that some of these officers are mentally ill. And some may involve some racial tendencies as well. But on the most part, at least we can be in agreement that the common denominator here is that many of these officers are mentally ill, and we found around the country that these situations are going on. And it's not only about white officers shooting black men, but also the situation going on in Utah where a black officer was engaged in police brutality against a white suspect. So we have to take into account that some of these officers are mentally ill, and that there needs to be some type of standards put in place that these officers, their mental stability needs to be checked at least every couple years to make sure that they're fit to do the job that we as citizens pay them to do. I'm Keith Pitch for Independence Nation. Now, I've proven to you, for those who are still standing with officers and these mentally ill officers shooting suspects and shooting regular good people in society, that it should not be happening, and we cannot back this type of activity. Once again, I'm Keith Pitch for Independence Nation. I'll see you next time.